whether or not I have a joke.
Do you have
The
a joke?
answer
Because
is-
we're live. Go for it, man. Let's hear it. Also,
what I
hype
really
train.
want to happen is I want to have the internet lag out right at the punchline. So
See it.
It could happen.
That can only happen occasionally, not every week.
it was really special. Why did the party ask if the diviner was feeling okay? Why did the party ask if the diviner was feeling okay?
Why?
He was scrying.
Oh my god.
Actually,
He was scrying.
I actually like that one.
That was good. That was one of your better pulls. I like it.
Oh, it was scrying.
Aw.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's see here. Get some. I have too many tabs open, you guys, and I can't find any
Close
of our
them.
stuff.
I was
It's
trying to
also-
a million degrees in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm distracted by our AC broke like 2 hour. What? 3? No, it was what? 3-4 hours ago.
Yeah.
And it is 1 billion degrees in here right now. I'm gonna literally just be sweating. I'm a total method acting in the desert here. So
That's right.
The AC started like rattling. Well, it's been rattling around, but it's been getting progressively worse and worse. And it sounded like it was inside going boom, 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 like just ping ponging off the sides of it.
yep, it literally sounded like somebody like just took like a piece of metal and threw it into the fan. It was just like clang, 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 clang. And then it just kept getting progressively worse. And now, technically, it turns on, but it sounds
But
like
it's
it's going to
frightening.
explode. And it's like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
go ahead
Yeah,
and
shut
call
that sucker
somebody.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, here we are. But appreciate you guys coming out. Welcome. We're the Bad Plans D&D crew. My name is Jay. I'm the Dungeon Master, and this is our wonderful group. We are playing a game called The Long Death in our homebrew. Our homebrew is homegrown in the world of Lydia. And
beautiful.
it's great. So, anyway, we're live every Wednesday night, 9 Central. And if you ever miss an episode, you can always check out back episodes on YouTube. Everything's over there. We also have an after show on Saturday nights where we discuss weird player conspiracy theories, apparently, and we sometimes play games and other stuff. But definitely, if you're not following us here on Twitch, please do. Please consider subscribing on YouTube. We appreciate it. And thank you guys for getting a hype train going right now. Level 3 right now. That is super exciting. Who do we have to thank for all these subs? Let's take a look here. Go ahead. Candace.
Person who's trying to kill us is gifting subs
That's right.
to apologize for
It's
trying
his
to
way
kill
of
us.
He wants-
buying back our favor.
Oh, it's Triven, isn't it? Triven
It
is
worked.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm willing to die now.
Oh man.
Are you willing to give up your piece of paper with numbers on it for a hit?
Oh my gosh.
No.
It's not so bad, guys. Dying isn't so bad.
Oh,
You can
okay.
find a cool robot body.
Yeah, so what else we got going on? We got any merch updates? We got any channel updates? What do you guys got? Anything you want to promote before we just dive in?
Barissa's like, get my AC on.
We're going to promote the local AC HVAC company and give them a sponsor.
Hey, do y'all want to sponsor? Yeah.
It's a.
To get some AC in our DM's house.
That's right.
Sorry, we have a cold water and cold margaritas, so
It's all good. We'll survive.
we're good for a little while for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. We can dive right in if you guys are ready to go. Let's see here.
Ready.
Okay. Getting stuff ready. Perfect. All right, let's play some D&D. Last week, in Catel's Oasis, you discovered someone had been outside your yurt, listening to your conversation. You ran to chase them, but instead found it was not a spy, but a harmless young child who'd been paid in sweets to come and leave a note pinned to the outside of your abode. The note was from a Bali man named Gabor, who lived in the caves below the oasis, and he claimed to have been there when they dug Vinidil's metal body from the sands right here in the desert. You met with him and learned that 2 years ago, he was part of the original party of Bali who were traveling in the west, and were there when a sandstorm uncovered a massive ziggurat, the place you now know as the home of the Tinker. Word got out, and in a matter of weeks, ships began arriving from the south to explore the site. They brought equipment and resources, as well as mechanical constructs to help with the digging. Soon after, they'd uncovered the doors leading into the ancient Thulesian ruin, where they found several warforged bodies, one of which was apparently yours, Vinadil. The Bali were rewarded generously for their help and for finding the site. But then, on the same day that the machine bodies were found, one of them was stolen. Enraged, they removed everyone from the site and immediately began building massive defenses around the area, including a giant moat encircling the ziggurat that was filled with the corralled hordes of the undead. He warned you of the dangers in the west, and that travel there was not to be taken lightly. The next morning, the goblin Valk arrived, the Tinker's lieutenant and head of operations here in the desert. He had come to meet with Cattell concerning the dragon and some other matters. After being invited to meet with him, some of you decided to attend this meeting and hear what he had to say. Valk explained their mission, which was to create enough machines that they could destroy the undead that ravaged the world and save those who were left. Why risk the living when machines could be rebuilt, improved, and reused, he said. We're trying to make a life in this world, he claimed, not rebuild a broken one that had only led itself to ruin. It was then horns began blowing. You could hear yelling outside. The camp instantly became frenzied. Cattell seemed distraught and mentioned that a sandstorm was coming and that you'd need to prepare. You all look around, knowing that Thorcum is not with you. He's in a different tent, down the row. You know that Vinadil is invisible, hiding from Valk, though trying to listen in on this conversation. There seems to be chaos brewing outside. As you rapidly consider your options, just then a Sidewinder, one of Cattell's men, bursts into the tent and rushes up to her, delivering a hushed message. You see him. Cattell's face widens, her eyes looking around incredulously. What? How? She says to him. He looks up. No clue. Maybe the sandstorm uncovered them. She looks at him. Go! Go! Secure the gates! She yells. She looks over to you. Valk, who is now still holding his cup of wine, one eyebrow raised, seeming more annoyed at the situation than anything else, to have his meeting disturbed. She addresses the lot of you. It's not just a sandstorm. There are walkers here. They've come with the winds. Suddenly, you hear just smash as Valk just drops his cup, cracks his knuckles. Wide, toothy grin, he says, Well, seems you're lucky we're here today. And he starts to walk towards the entrance to the tent. Cattell goes to leave, and right as she does, she stops at the door. She turns back and addresses the group of you. She says, You asked me yesterday if there was some way you could help the Oasis. Well, here you go. And she just rips out of the tent and starts running. You're all inside, looking at each other. You can hear the noises outside. You can hear the chaos. What's the plan?
I immediately message Thorcum and tell him Sandstorm and hordes of undead are coming. Meet us halfway between us and you. I guess.
We'll start scooting. Yeah, I think we'll go back to our stuff a little bit and organize. Gotta make sure Kins has her book.
Oh, my book!
Oh.
I'm also somewhat like being like, okay, am I gonna run into Vin? Am I gonna run into Vin? Like, I'm trying to like not run into a giant invisible wall.
Okay. Change of plans, we're coming to you. Prepare yourself.
I don't think we're too far away, so we'll just run out.
Yeah. Let's run
Start
that way.
running back.
How long has it been? About how long? I'm trying to guess like how much longer invisibility's up.
It's probably, you might have 10 minutes left, you'd guess.
Okay.
At most. Yeah, it's coming up on a while.
Vin, do you need another hit?
No.
Okay.
But
Let's go smash some undead.
Yeah, let's go smash some undead, but I want to keep my eye on Valk as much as possible too.
Yeah, don't get captured while we're smashing.
Yeah.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah. No.
And
No
Alright,
one's
Jay.
looking for you, Joshy.
Oh, really?
Thorcom, so you've just received this
Since-
message. What are you doing?
Okay, since I'm kind of like Vinny, I am going to tell 14 to find Jeshi and obey his commands.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
it's all coming together.
All right, so 14 just starts chugging down the down the path.
and I also throw all 3 Pokeballs.
Oh gosh.
No, all 3. It's an emergency situation.
It is.
You gotta
It's
throw
a
the
lot of
Pokeballs.
undead.
All 3 Pokeballs come out. All right.
It's a nightmare.
You realize
I'm
that
sorry.
Jay's going to have to do so much clicking that it's going to at least go up like by a degree in your room.
It's all right. We got 1
It's all right. The
panther,
faster I TPK everybody, the faster
2
we can
panthers,
get out of
and
this heat.
Ooh.
2 panthers?
2 panthers,
Ah.
1 giant badger. That is a good crew.
I'm picturing like the badgers kind of like riding between the 2 of them, like left legs on one, right legs on the other. Just
Van
heading-
Damming it?
Yeah, Van Damme on the trucks, you know? That's exactly what I was thinking. He's doing a badger split, just like
That
Charging.
is
Hilarious.
the weirdest thing.
So you guys are you're running back to your yurt. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
my book.
Okay.
And as
It
we're
is-
going, I'm summoning Douglas, the jet black warhorse.
Oh.
Okay.
Not the camel?
He's a jet black warhorse.
Not the camel.
Douglas.
He has like the back of the horse
Oh.
is oddly humped
Oh,
as he
yeah.
kind of comes out. He's like
Correct.
it's like a little bit,
Kind of
you
looks
know?
like a centaur. Not quite though.
Half camel, half horse, centaur. Nice.
As they approach, I'm not going to leave the tent yet. Kens, do you have any more charges on the shield? Pass without
I
trace?
do. I do.
How long does it last? Is it like 10 minutes?
1 hour.
1 hour. Yes, I need that.
Yes. Okay, well, you need to be near me. 30 feet.
You're coming to the tent, right?
Yeah, as soon as we get to the tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when we get here? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So are
I'll
you
shove
trying
my
to
book
be-
in my backpack.
Stealthy? Thorcom?
Yeah, got to.
Okay.
The wind begins to pick up as you run. It's coming on very fast. I would say it's unlikely that any of you will have experienced a sandstorm before, though you've kind of heard stories and kind of understand that generally there are
Wait,
these
As
massive- Yeah.
Cattell left, what direction did she go compared to us?
So you can see that almost everybody is charging towards the front gates, which when
Okay.
you arrived were partially open, but if you recall, they're mildly defensible. You know, there was an actual gate that can be closed and was open at the time, but you can see that
All
everybody
right, I'm on the
is
horse,
on their way there.
looking regal,
Looking regal on the
Looking
black warhorse.
debonair,
Okay. An ethereal black
hair
warhorse.
flowing, hammer out.
Hair
Ready to rock.
flowing. Love it.
Flowing.
Okay.
Yes.
So the wind has started to pick up. The visibility is starting to deteriorate a little bit as the air starts to become thick with sand. So just to be clear, you're all together, but Thorcom is stealthing, or are you invisible? What are you doing?
I am just. Which way did Valk go?
You have no
Did
idea.
you guys see? No, I'm talking to the other guys.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Did they go the same direction, Valk and Cattell, towards the gate?
So Valk left before Cattell, and by the time you
Right.
left the tent, he was nowhere in sight.
Not sure. I think he probably went to the robots.
Kens, can you do the pass without trace thing?
Throw
Yeah.
The tree. Oh,
Invisibility on myself. And then I'm like, Control 14.
I got it. 14. Run alongside Douglas. Thank you.
Okay, so you're all together. You've gone back
Yep.
to the yurt. By the time you get back to the yurt, get your stuff, converse with Thorcom, and turn around, the The wind is howling even more than it was before. The visibility is really low because of all the sand. You can see people are kind of running all over the place. What do you guys want to do?
Just
Are you
let's
all
move
gonna-
towards the gates. I mean,
Yep.
We're gonna help, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna help.
I'm gonna. Do I see Valk and his robots?
No. No, you guys are not near.
No, I'm headed towards. Okay, so the gate's not where he went.
Well, you guys are not
What?
at the gate. You're at your
yeah,
yurt,
we're just
right?
moving
Yeah.
that direction.
Okay.
So, yeah,
We're going
let's start-
towards the gate.
Let's start moving that direction.
Okay.
Yep.
To the
great.
gate.
All right, so you all start moving in that direction. The wind howls like a hungry wolf. You see Cattell and several of her men flee into a curtain of blowing sand and disappear. The scene outside your tent as you move towards that end of the camp is one of just total bedlam. The tents whip and crack in the high winds as crates, baskets, and barrels roll like tumbleweeds through the makeshift camp. People are diving, dodging, and ducking through the storm. Parents and children alike are being battered by the stinging, relentless gale. As you survey the oasis, you observe the sidewinders on the walls, pointing and shouting, weapons in their hands. For a moment, the shouted orders of Cattell, somewhere in the direction of the main gates, are heard above the din. People flood towards the caverns, crying, screaming, and clutching one another. Mothers reaching out for children, looking around, trying to find everything, find any safety. You see people running. You see the sidewinders charging towards the fray. You hear the unmistakable groan of twisting metal that competes with a wave of astonished shouting before a crystal clear crack, boom, echoes above the deafening storm.
It's failed! The main gate's failed! Form a line!
As you charge towards the gate, what's left of the broken metal makeshift gate is torn down as you look beyond it, and hundreds, possibly thousands of undead descend upon the oasis.
Guys, can we kill
Smash.
thousands of undead?
Oh yeah, I've killed many thousands.
Not all at
I'm
the
riding
same.
towards the gate. Where
So-
the
Not
yellow
all at
is
the
coming
same
from.
time, Jesse. We've got to help these people retreat. We might be able to hold them off, but can't kill 1,000 undead. Is Cattell still in front of us? Are they
Cattell?
trying to hold the gate?
So Cattell is basically running around shouting orders, trying to keep some semblance of a line together. There is a massive, just huge horde of undead descending upon the front gate in that area. It is very difficult to see how many because of the very low visibility. At the same time this is happening, a brutal sandstorm is blowing in, just pelting everybody with sand. You can barely see even 10 feet in one direction, and you get these brief glimpses as the wind blows through of just these huge groups of undead. Another thing you see as you look out beyond the gate is Valk's honor guard. The machines that showed up with the vehicle are just ravaging outside. There's already dozens, if not hundreds, of these corpses just strewn about as these giant machines are just pounding everything. You could see that they have these sort of area of effect flame kind of attacks, and some of them are just like spinning fists around. The things are out there just laying waste to as many of them as they can, but there seem to be so many that there are still quite a few currently overwhelming the gate. So what we're going to do for combat is first, hold that thought, and then I'll come right back to you, Jeshi. I want everybody to roll initiative while we're talking.
We need to get to the map.
Yeah, do we need to change maps?
There's not going to be a map,
Oh.
Okay.
so everybody needs to roll initiative and go ahead and shout it out.
Can you clear the initiative that's there?
Natural 20.
I don't have it open, so I can't use that at all.
13.
You rolled a nat 20? That's like
Uh-huh.
your first
Yeah,
double-digit
Jeshi.
initiative
Okay.
ever.
Jeshi is inspired by these undead.
Oh, it's a 19.
16 for me.
Okay.
Got to get there.
Take your time, no rush.
Ooh,
16
by one
for
from last
Belrissa.
time. 13 for Thorcom.
13 for Thorcom. Okay, and then we got Kins. What'd you get?
13.
You also got 13. Okay, who's got the higher dex?
I've got 1 plus 1.
+2.
+2. Kins goes first.
Then,
Okay.
6.
And then 6 for Vinadil, who is... I would say your invisibility has probably just worn off as this is getting going here.
Okay.
As this begins, I'm gonna tell Vin, like, from my invisibility, wait for your opportunity. And then I'm just gonna get quiet after that.
Okay.
So this is going to be a Horde Combat mechanic. So you guys are currently engaged in combat with an untold number of adversaries. There's a type of way we're going to run the combat where basically the way this generally works is that it's basically a horde of zombies, and the zombie, the collective horde of them has these hit points, right? And as you attack the horde, the hit points decline, and if they decline enough, a number of the horde falls off, right? So, for example, zombie has X hit points, so if you do enough damage to take away that many, then that one zombie falls off the end of the horde, right? Until eventually it comes down. When they attack you, basically a certain amount of them will be in a particular place and will attack you. And the way it generally works is that 1/4 of them are going to hit you at any given time. So instead of me needing to roll 100 attack rolls every round, there's a mechanic in place where basically we generally just use math to take the average, which means about 1/4 of them are going to hit you at any given time to avoid needing to do the dice rolls. So you guys are these sort of heroic group of adventurers who have just rushed into the fray. You look around and you see these sidewinders, these guys, you watched them earlier, right? Cattell obviously knows how to fight, but these guys, they're not exactly experts. They're doing the best they can to defend, their place here. You guys run up though, you know what you're doing, right? And everybody kind of immediately looks to you. This guy just charged up, hair blowing in the wind on a freaking warhorse, right? Just with a huge hammer. Like, people are making way for you to help out here. And you guys have an opportunity to do some epic cinematic stuff. There's a huge horde of undead descending upon this place, attacking the innocents. It's your opportunity to figure out what you want to do here. So, have fun, be cinematic, be heroes.
I'm up first.
You're up first.
Okay, this is what I would like to do. First, I want to yell to 14, and I'll say, please, 14, kill all the undead, but not Vin. Thank you.
Just
That I'm on a full gallop. Douglas at the main gate. I'd like to get pretty deep into the undead that are coming through the gate and use my channel divinity to turn undead. I'd like to gallop Douglas as far as I can gallop Douglas and then turn undead.
What's the radius
Which I
on
know
turn
doesn't
undead?
do damage, but maybe we can find a way to make it work.
Yep.
The radius is any fiend or undead that can see or hear me within 30 feet. So possibly Ziggy too.
Okay, so that...
holy crap! Yes.
No, I went too far.
That's great. Ziggy's just like, hey, I can't hear you, right? Yeah.
Ziggy's in the backpack.
He's
It's
not
way
into
too
this.
With
for him.
earplugs.
So part of my role here, and bear with me because I'm doing this for the first time, and this is a super fun mechanic, and I'm going to try to figure it out as we go. But basically, part of my role is to sort of adjudicate positions of area effect, and the way you describe that in the theater of the mind, right? Like how many of these undead will be out there, and then figure out how your AoE spell could work, right? So in this case, the 30-foot radius constitutes huge, which means there's about 32 undead that you can reach within this span. So you basically literally charge into the middle of the biggest group of zombies that you can find, and go ahead, play it out for us. What do you do? What does the
I'm very
flowing
tactical.
orange hair in the wind do here?
This is super tactical, so this is gonna look like I know what I'm doing because I do. So I'm gonna ride fairly deep, and I know what this does. And so my goal is to basically push a big wave away from the Sidewinders that are retreating, and then a smaller group kind of towards our guys to kind of isolate a good chunk of them to be killed.
Okay.
And then I also, for the heck of it, because Douglas is a warhorse, he will trample one of them. And that will also be cool.
Okay.
War horse.
Grandpa!
Excellent. Okay, so you charge out. So you're basically, if I understood you correctly, you're charging out and you're trying to basically draw a group of them back towards your team, right? So I'm gonna say probably like
A chunk towards us and a chunk away from us, just to isolate some.
Yeah. Okay. So you're able to isolate a group. They take the bait full on, right? They just, they start following you, just, kind of stumbling your way. You're able to move quite a bit faster than they are, but some of them are grabbing on to Douglas and kind of hanging on and being dragged along the ground. And this
14.
group of
Save Douglas.
probably about 50 of them are now with you, and you raise up and you use Darkforge and you bring down the wrath of your god, and you turn undead, and instantly 24 of those undead just evaporate and just crash down onto the ground, destroyed. You can see a bunch of the other ones are just kind of, they seem to have resisted the impact of the spell, but you take out like half of this group, like instantly. It's
I'm fine
freaking
with that.
epic.
I want to make sure that you know that I'm not high enough paladin to destroy them. They run.
Oh, they run. Okay, yeah, sure.
They run.
Thank you for calling that out. Right, so you're at your level.
Soon.
At your
I
level,
will
they don't
evaporate.
get destroyed outright, but they just turn and run kind of in the opposite direction. And about half of them run straight into one of those giant machines who just clotheslines like this huge group of them, like total like combo attack. They just turn and are just compelled to run.
Ziggy.
You just hear Ziggy.
He's just like, hey, I really don't like you, but that was epic.
So, yeah, you destroy 24 effectively, right? They're gone. They're no longer combatants as they have took off. So Jeshi is now more or less surrounded by, call it another 20 of these zombies, and he's kind of led them back in you guys' general direction. That's going to end your turn, Jeshi. Next up will be, I believe, Belrissa.
Woo! All right.
Marissa, make
Yeah.
sure you ask if it's okay to fight.
What?
Cattell. Can we fight?
Permission to fight? I think the context clues would give us the answer.
I don't need
Oh my
permission.
gosh. Oh,
This is over. We're going to
she's
bed.
been waiting
Way
for
past
this
asking for
moment.
permission.
So like I can't like hex a horde, right? Or
Correct.
anything like that.
Yeah, Hex
Okay.
probably wouldn't do you much good in this case.
All
But
right.
I mean, if there was ever a
There-
time for fireball,
There
Yeah,
might be a
there's-
particular
this-
spell that would
this-
do.
I'm definitely. Well, I mean, if I could have hexed the horde first, but yeah, I'll fireball. I will fireball the biggest group that I can possibly get with the fireball.
Okay. So Fireball doesn't have a huge range. It has 120 feet, 150 feet maybe.
150 feet
Yeah.
range. Yeah.
That's pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. That's pretty far.
Yeah, that's decent. I mean, this is a huge, like, massive battlefield. Not our typical small little battle area. So
And
you
it's
can kind of
a
imagine.
20-foot radius, so 40 foot.
Yep. So for 20-foot radius, you're looking at hitting 16 different enemies, and so basically you hit your fireball, and
Okay.
do you want to attack the, like, Jeshi just basically led a group of about 20 of them back in your direction, and you would know just spatially that you could probably hit most of them. Would you want to attack that group, or kind of like go for some other group that's somewhere else? If that makes sense.
I mean, the ones who have, if they're coming towards us, like coming back towards the city, those are the ones I want to hit. I want to
Okay, yep.
get the closer ones.
Yeah, so
out of the
Jeshi just
way.
kind of charged out and has, like, started to almost corral, like, a group of them basically in a very fireball appropriately sized chunk.
Okay. So I.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Jeshi, as you're charging back, you see Belrissa kind of step out, she steps to the right as you're able to charge right past her, and the wind from the horse combined with the sand blowing, just Belrissa, your hat just goes, and your hat flies off, and your silvery black hair is just blowing in the wind, and you're just.
I duck slightly and put my shield in front of my face.
That's a good idea.
The fireball shoots out and just right smack in the middle of this dense group of undead, just explosion happens, and you see 12 of them are just instantly incinerated, and bodies go flying, and a bunch of the other ones are kind of on fire, but they're all kind of crushed together and manage to awkwardly put the flames out, and some of them are still burning, but haven't been completely destroyed. But you take out
They stop, drop, and roll on accident.
yeah, basically, you
Fire
take out over
safety.
half the group instantly. You take
Okay.
out 12 of them with that attack.
Sweet. And then I'm gonna burn 2 sorcery points and blast the 2 that are closest to me, whoever they are.
Okay,
I don't want anyone being close. So I'm like, choo, choo.
you got it. Yeah, and it smells real bad too.
Ew.
The wind is helping with that a little bit, but it's like.
Don't trust that cat.
There is a 100% chance he's gonna jump on me
Yes.
and scratch the heck out of me as soon as I stop looking.
He's fine.
Okay.
Oh, and then I've got animals who are gonna go attack.
Did you roll anything? Did you roll your 2 attacks?
Oh, no. I didn't know we were rolling things. I don't know how this is all working.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay.
Do you want me to
No,
roll the
that's a good-
fireball?
You don't have to roll damage. No, I'm sorry. You do have to roll damage. You don't have to roll for turn undead, because that's just a thing. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
please go ahead and roll damage for your fireball.
He was so excited and so nervous at the same time.
I mean, I was really.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh! Oh, that was good. 38.
38. Okay, yes.
Oh my God.
That is
Right?
That was
absurdly high. Yeah.
All
so
good ones.
so everything
No,
I
stop, drop, and
everything I
roll.
said is what happened. Yeah. So you managed to take out 12 of them.
I think you said 12, yeah.
Is how the mechanic works.
awesome. And then, do you want me to roll my Eldritch Blast
Yeah.
too?
So if you're going to attack normally, then basically the way it works is that saving throws, there is this assumption of a certain number of them that make it, or the vast majority of them will fail mathematically, and then similarly for an attack roll, you're going to make the attack, and if that attack hits, you're basically attacking the horde itself, versus they're all technically kind of like the same enemy, so the AC is always the same.
Okay. So 2 attacks for Eldritch Blast then.
Okay.
The first one is 17 to hit
Okay, that hits.
with 8 damage.
Okay.
And then the next one is 19 to hit with 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay, yeah. So you're able to take out one more of those zombies as it's sort of shambling towards you. It's still kind of half on fire. Its flesh is melting off, and it's just kind of shambling. And you you manage to take a step back, and I'm kind of imagining that Jeshi's warhorse is at this point kind of swung around, and Jeshi, you've kind of got you've got Darkforge in hand, kind of ready to go for your next round, and Belrissa has kind of taken a bit of cover next to you, and you manage to take out one more. So there's 7 more left of this group kind of coming towards you guys. So there's plenty more out and about, but this one little group has 7 of them that are still partially burning and shambling towards you. So great turn. Kins, you're up.
Wait. Can animals attack?
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
sorry.
Animals.
Oh, the Van Damme Badger
There's a lot
and
Yes.
of.
Panther combo.
Dire wolves.
Jean-Claude. Wait,
Alright.
it's Panthers.
I mean, that has to be the badger's
no,
name,
they're-
right?
they're
The
Panthers,
badger
yeah.
has to
Jean-Claude
be
Van Badger.
Jean-Claude.
Yes.
Yes.
That has to be his name from now on, yes. Whatever he comes out.
All right, Badger's gonna attack. His bite attack is a 13 to hit
Okay.
with 2 piercing damage.
Okay.
And his claw is 16 to hit with 8 slashing damage.
8 slashing damage.
10
Okay.
damage
10
from
damage
Badger.
from the badger.
That's not bad.
So he basically dives off of the panther and does a jump spinning split kick,
Yes.
like with his tiny little badger feet, and just like
Jean-Claude is
slashes,
typically right-footed, so that
slashes with his right-footed claw there. Very nice. And then your 2 panthers.
All right, 2 panthers. All right, panther's gonna move at least 20 feet straight towards a creature, and hopefully hit with both of these. 13 for his bite attack.
Okay.
That's 3 damage.
3 damage.
And 9 for his claw attack.
Hits.
Hits. That is 4 damage.
Okay.
And then that zombie's probably knocked prone
Oh, yeah.
if he fails the strength save.
Yep.
All right, then the other panther, Panther 2,
Okay. Yep.
is
Advantage because his buddy knocked his other buddy prone there.
oh right, yes.
There's like an animal combo going on, like
so that's a 12,
killer instinct is
12
happening.
to hit
12 hits.
with
Yep.
5 piercing and
Okay.
20 to hit with 5 slashing.
Okay. So this animal trio charges into the fray. The badger dives off and just starts just like harassing this zombie who's all confused and doesn't even like consider it a threat. It's still kind of ambling towards you. And then this panther comes out of nowhere and just like crashes into it, knocking it prone, and just starts thrashing at its neck. And the other panther dives in, and these panthers are just like ripping this corpse apart as this badger is just standing like triumphantly on top of it. The badger like jumps off and gets ready to attack this other one, but the trio of them take out one of the zombies like really, really well. It was
Good.
beautiful.
Awesome.
So Belrissa has just an amazing round there. Kins, you're up. And Thorcom,
Instead
you're on
of
deck.
the Disney princess doing chores and stuff, Belrissa summons the murder from animals.
Duck, duck.
Belrissa
okay.
summons the murder.
Yeah, she does. It fits. I want to cast Erupting Earth on like the point where the gates are like right where the entrance is that we're kind of at,
Okay. Like
to
where
make
they,
it difficult terrain and like
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
kind of
okay.
like aren't
To
people
create,
coming
like,
in or they're coming in?
So there, if you can picture it, there's kind of a choke point where this gate is in between these walls, but the gate itself has been trampled, and basically behind where the walls were, there's a group of the Sidewinders who are trying to hold the line, and you guys are out in front of that line.
Oh, we're in
basically
front, okay.
like kind of picture like, remember in Lord of the Rings when like Aragorn like dives out in front of the wall at Helm's Deep, and he's just like holding off all the orcs before they can get to the main wall. Like that's you guys right now, like just fending off. And then way out even beyond you are Valk's guard, and they're just like they're kind of like, you occasionally look out there and you can see like a bunch of them are like overwhelming one of them, and then it like spins around, and then you just see blood and gore fly everywhere, and they're just like thrashing things out there. But still, you know, plenty of them are getting by, and you guys are like the next line of defense there.
Okay. So whatever chunk is like on the other side of so Jeshi came to like
Totally.
corral things back. So on the other side of Jeshi, I'm gonna do the Erupting Earth,
Erupting Earth. That sounds
which is
awesome.
a 20-foot cube.
Okay, so for
Range.
sorry, no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, yeah. 20-foot cube range. Deck save 16 is what it is. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you have the thing open, but it's in the chat too.
Got it. I don't, so you'll have to call out the numbers for me. But does it do damage,
Okay.
or just create difficult
It does
terrain?
damage and it creates the difficult terrain.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. Let's hope. Come on. All right. 19.
19. Awesome. Okay. So the 20-foot radius cube, or yeah, right, the cube, 20-foot cube.
The cube.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So basically, there's a huge group of about 16 or 20 of them just like moving in from kind of the opposite side, and you're able to sort of, and the entire sand just sort of erupts, and a lot of the like you can imagine like the sand kind of flies up and gets caught in the sandstorm and the wind, and just part of it just pelts a bunch of the undead as well, and then the ground that was once there is all just a total mess, and they're all just getting completely like crushed by this erupting earth that comes up from your spell. So you were able to take out 12 of them with that spell. So there's another probably 5 or 6 left in that group that are still kind of moving towards the gate. But yeah, epic, awesome job.
All right, that's it.
That's it. Okay, cool. Thorcum, you're up, and Vin, you're on deck. So Thorcum, you're invisible.
This is not my type of fight. Crowd control. And precision.
We need like a sawed-off shotgun for you.
All right.
That's right.
So the natural walls behind us, the broken down gate in front of us. So it's like a. Am I picturing this right? So.
Well, for you in particular, you can kind of be wherever you want, you know. But Jeshi, Belrissa, and Kins are basically out in front of the now trampled front gates.
Okay, and then Valk is way beyond that.
You actually can't see Valk.
Yeah.
His robots are way out there, but you don't see him.
Man, this is tough. All right, I'm going to get where I need to be. It's like I'm going to a wall.
Okay.
And then I'm going to drop invisibility and cast Spider Climb. And then I'm going to go vertical. Out of harm's reach. And I am just going to take pot shots at anything around Jeshi.
Okay. Is that
keep
so?
it
So is Spider Climb a bonus action?
I'm going to, but I'm not. I don't think I'm attacking this round.
Okay.
I'm just stating what I will be doing in the future. Maybe.
Got it. Okay.
Spider Climb is an action, so that's my action, and then I'm gonna have 14 like just attack one that's near Jeshi. Like I can give him my bonus action, so Jeshi can command him. He already told him to like, start.
Yeah.
ripping him apart.
14,
we
kill
didn't
one of
actually
them,
roll
please.
for. So even though he would still go on your turn, even if
He would
Jeshi
still
commanded him.
technically use my bonus action because I
Right.
don't want Jeshi to not have that option.
So you can roll for an attack for him.
11 and 8 damage.
8 damage.
Hopefully that hits a zombie.
Totally hits. Yeah, so I'm just kind of picturing him like standing out, basically in front of these 3, just, kind of deflecting / attacking when he can. But 8 damage, yeah. So basically what I do is I tally any damage that's done from any of your attacks, and each time it reaches the threshold for one of these monsters, the Horde gets a little smaller.
And I'm as far as up on the wall as I can.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna, hang out.
So you remember when you walked in, the Sidewinders who were sort of guarding the walls, there's like all these large boulders kind of surrounding this, semicircle shaped oasis, basically, with the pool and everything in the middle, backed up with the huge butte in the back. And so there's actually some pretty big boulders that you can just stand up on and have a perfect vantage of all of this. And as you get up there, Thorcum, go ahead and make a perception check, just as a free action.
Okay. 22.
22. Okay, so a couple things you notice are, well, the first thing is that you can't really see much because of the sandstorm. It's really difficult for you to even keep your balance up here. The spider climb is holding you to the rock, but you can definitely tell that, like, if you weren't magically adhered to this, you would probably have a really hard time being up here. You also notice, as you look behind you, that there are undead starting to circle around the oasis itself, as opposed to just coming from this kind of one side where this choke point is. All right, so that's going to end your turn. Vinadil.
I'm gonna look around for Valk. Do I see him anywhere?
Make a perception check.
18.
18. No. I expect, I imagine that you'd have been casually looking for him, passively looking for him the whole time. So
Yeah.
like every chance you get, you're like kind of looking around and no sign of Valk.
All right, then I'm basically going to be just kind of theater of the mind anyway, because I'm similar to Thorcum. I've got nothing AE, so I'm trying to help any of the folks who are actively melee engaged with one of these group. I'll just be kind of swinging through, shooting, stabbing, like any of the ones that have engaged with the what are they called? Catel's people. That group of fighters that have a name that I've forgotten.
The Sidewinders. Yeah.
Yes, the Sidewinders. Okay. So yeah, anything that's gotten through that's engaged with the Sidewinder, I'm just kind of shooting that. So we're stabbing that, and
Okay.
and really I'm doing that, but at the same time using that as an opportunity to keep turning and looking around the battlefield, because I'm constantly looking for Valk.
Okay.
And Catel. Those are the two people I'm trying to keep track of, is Catel and then if I can find Valk.
Yeah, Catel is there. She's right,
Okay.
basically right next to you guys, just commanding kind of the back line, and she's got
Great.
a set of archers who are going, and they're basically trying to work around you guys, and she's herself.
You're being stalked.
I am. I can see it in his eyes.
Okay.
She, in between giving orders, is just laying waste to these undead, right? Like she's dancing. She is in her element here, as her long pole arm is just, or elven spear rather, it's just twirling around. Like she's probably killed like 15 of them at this point, just since we started. But yeah, she's not hard to find. Valk, on the other hand, you definitely don't see him
Okay.
anywhere. But you can kind of charge up to where these guys are, and there's plenty of targets. So
Yeah,
go ahead and
I just something that's engaged with somebody is what I'm looking for. So I'll find one and I'll shoot it with a crossbow. Whoa, 14 to hit.
14 hits.
And then 20 damage.
20 damage. Okay, cool. So yeah, you're able to basically just run up next to one, and what are you attacking with? Your crossbow?
I'm shooting it with my crossbow, yeah.
Shooting it. Yeah, so I'm kind of picturing you're just sort of doing your typical thing where even amongst the fray of the of the loud and the din of the sandstorm and the battle, you're able to just kind of like block everything out, literally turn off your sound receptors for a moment to focus, and you just sink a bullet. A bolt rather.
Yep.
Just right up through the jaw into the brain, and one just kind of falls back and knocks over another one who's now trying to like claw its way out from under it. So yeah, easy.
Cool. Yeah, I notice. I was thinking about going up on the wall, but noticing how much the wind is blowing Thorcum, I'm just going to stay down on the ground in the middle of all of the guys, like kind of close to Jessie and 14 probably, in that general area.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so at the end of the round, I'm going to run damage for the Horde versus you guys, right? And generally the way this is going to work is that attack rolls are going to kind of the opposite of saving throws, where it assumes that 1/4 of them are going to succeed, depending on how many of them are attacking, and that simplifies things. And it actually works out. The math is very close to what it would have been statistically had we rolled everything anyway. So it's and then there are circumstances here where, like, you might imagine if for some reason one of you were on the ground and these had advantage, I would increase that 1/4 to maybe 1/2 or something like that, right? And then the amount of them that attack you are kind of dependent on how you guys are rolling through the scenario, right? So for example, Thorcum's probably not attacked by anything because he's used his action to get out of danger, right? Whereas Jeshi has put himself in the middle of the danger kind of on purpose, right? To draw, these enemies towards him. Just as an example of how I'm adjudicating how this is all working in our minds here. So Jeshi, there are 8 zombies in your general area that go in to attack you. 2 of them succeed, total damage of 8 on you, so not too bad, right? You're able to kind of block a bunch. Belrissa, 4 attacks, 1 of them hits. That's 4 damage on you.
Like, can I Hellish Rebuke on him?
Sure, absolutely you can. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that then. So, oh wait, I didn't mean to cast that at the 3rd level. I maybe do that. Sorry. 8. He takes 8 fire damage.
8. Okay, cool. Added to the list. Excellent. Right, so you take 4 damage and return 8. Return the favor there.
All right.
Jay,
Yeah.
before you move on, do any attack Douglas?
Nah.
Okay.
I mean, I would. Douglas is kind of this ethereal horse who is not.
He's one of them.
Yeah, there you go.
One of us.
One of them's petting him as it tries to just attack you.
So, okay, I gotta ask a question before we do anything else. Can we talk to each other actively in this kind of cinematic
Oh yeah,
battle?
for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, imagine you're shouting over like howling, whistling winds in the din of a battle, but of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I hear them in this sound that you put on for us, Jay.
The one guy gets killed, and it is dramatic.
So Kins, you take 4 damage as well. Okay. And Vinadil, you're going to take no damage because you're kind of out and back and behind everybody. So that's gonna close the round. So do those mechanics generally make sense? Do you guys feel like you have a loose grasp on what's going on here? Starting to picture how this is all going in your minds?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, Jeshi.
As Jeshi starts his turn, I want to call out something to him. Important. Jeshi! Cast Sanctuary on 14! Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I cast Sanctuary on 14.
Okay.
It's a battle command. It's no problem. I cast it immediately. And then let me get a theater of the mind here. Do any of my companions look most in danger? Like there could be an oncoming horde that's going to get to them besides me?
I would say the way I'm picturing everything so far is that you are the one who has drawn all, and 14 really. I mean, 14 is sort of out in front of you, and if you can picture, the zombies are sort of going up to him and are definitely less interested in the big metal guy than they are the fleshy targets 5 feet away.
Understood.
Right. So yeah.
I do so I've kind of semi-circled back to lead. I'm gonna do the close the circle, go back into a charge, out towards the gate. So I'm looking like, I know you mentioned that I could see the robots out in the distance, but then also Cattell was like at some direction killing everything.
Yeah, Cattell is sort of behind the broken down gates trying to hold the line where it's
Okay,
choked
so am I
before
further
going
out
into the
than
main
her?
area. Yeah. Yeah, you're beyond
further
the
out.
broken gate. Yep.
Okay.
But you could retreat if you wanted to go back to where she is.
Yeah, so if I've semi-circled, well, I don't want to retreat from Belrissa and Kin, so I'm gonna stay front. So I'm gonna come back around, make a somewhat secondary charge, gallop out. Douglas tramples another one, and then swing my hammer twice.
Okay.
Also Sanctuary on 14.
Got it.
And by the way, Douglas's trample is a legitimate thing. Trampling charge. So if the horse moves at least 20 feet straight towards a creature, so I'm like, I've semicircled and I'm charging, then he can knock somebody down, and if he knocks them down, he gets to attack it.
Interesting. Okay. And the knockdown is a strength save?
Yeah, 14.
Fails.
Good one, Douglas. Let me roll damage for him. Oh, Douglas. 2 1s. So 6. Douglas. Then,
Okay.
you know, the one that he trampled, I will smash with my hammer.
I mean, that's still 6 damage, though, like, for free.
Yeah, good job,
basically, right?
Douglas.
Yeah. I mean, it was no Jean-Claude Van Beaver or whatever.
No.
Badger. Not beaver.
I can just now see a beaver like spinning in the air with a big pancake tail.
Just holding his teeth out, just like...
Hammer down. I'm playing polo on this horse
Okay.
with undead's heads. So 26 to hit,
Hits?
13 damage.
Great, okay.
Another
so
swing,
one of them goes down.
23 to hit,
Mm-hmm.
15 damage.
Another one goes down. So between you and Douglas, you take two. You take 2 down pretty swiftly.
And so I'm not being reckless. I'm not trying to like go as far as I can, but I am trying to establish kind of a spearhead
Yeah.
to break the horde in kind of 2 halves.
Excellent.
Okay.
Cool. So if you can kind of picture like probably 100 feet beyond the gates, the robots, and you know they're not all right next to each other. They're kind of spread out a little bit, but they have just piles of corpses going, and a lot of as the horde is moving in out of the winds, and you can barely see that far, and you get glimpses of it as the sand relents a little bit. But you can see that they're just creating mounds of bodies, right? And you can see that the undead are sort of just like parting around them. You know, any that they're kind of just holding their area, and any of them that go around, and they're reforming on the other side of this now literal mound of dead bodies out there, and then reforming, and you're now splitting that in half and like re-splitting
Yes.
them again.
And I
Yeah.
want to do one other thing, which is command 14. 14, please dive that way 10 feet. And my goal is, because he has sanctuary, that he gets away far enough from me that if somebody fails the sanctuary throw against them, they can't just attack me. They would lose their attack.
That's great. Okay. Super smart crowd control. Love it. Very cool. Okay, so that's gonna end your turn. Bellarissa. So now
Yeah.
you're still kind of back, maybe 10 feet in front of the trampled gate. Bodies starting to pile up around you. Most of the Sidewinders are back behind, kind of trying to hold the line with Cattell, but several of them are just scattered about, trying to stay alive. And Jessie, you've seen Jessie basically charge forward, you know, like Theoden basically charging out of Helm's Deep, just like plowing Urukai like off the edges, and you're just watching him do that. 14's just like dive rolling out into the crowd. What do you want to do here?
I have one more fireball left, so I'm gonna find the biggest group. And
Can I yell out again?
go for it.
I'm going to point beyond 14 and say clear a path. Can you hit like beyond the gates, like in front of them?
Like between 14
Yeah.
and the gate?
No. In front of 14 towards where Valk is. I want like a hole punched.
Yeah, are there lots of enemies there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, sure.
many.
I will,
Oh yeah.
I will aim there then.
No shortage of enemies in that direction. Okay. So
Alright.
go ahead and roll damage.
That damage is 34
34.
to each of them.
Bellarissa's having a good night with the dice. Let's just say that. Okay, so
amazing.
that is going to be the blast encompasses 16 of these enemies. 12 of them are just instantly incinerated, and 4 more of them are on fire, hurting pretty bad, but not completely destroyed. So a path has been, a hole has been punched, I should say, as like Bellarissa literally just blows a hole in their line.
All right, I will blast another couple that are like closest
Okay.
to me
Mhm.
with some sorcery points.
There are still like a good bunch of them kind of literally right around. Like Jessie kind of charged out and left a bunch of them kind of near you guys too.
Okay. Yeah. First one is 11 to hit.
Yep, that is.
Okay. So that is a 12 damage.
12. Okay.
Next one is a 12 to hit
Mm-hmm.
with 6 damage.
Excellent. One of them goes down.
All right. Then the murder moles.
Is that their trio name?
They
Is
have
that
the
their band
name.
Our group doesn't even have a name, but Marissa's balls do. The murder balls.
The murder moles.
Oh man.
Panther's gonna hit first, see if he can knock someone down.
Okay, there you go.
His,
They're starting to, like, kind of put their tactics together. I
so
like
that's
it.
a 22 to hit.
20. Yeah, that thing. He just tramples it over. I mean, the panther is like twice as big as his corpse. It just plows this thing down, like when a giant dog jumps on you. It's just got its front legs just on its body. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Nice. So that's a 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then the bite is. He gets advantage on the bite?
Yeah.
Oh, that nat 20 on his second roll there. So a 6 damage with that bite.
MVP animal trio tonight, for sure.
All right, now Badger's gonna hit with his bite. Is a. Does he still get? Does he get advantage? Do all they all get advantage?
Everybody does because it's prone.
All right. So 17 to hit with 3 damage.
Dang.
And then claws are 9 to hit
9 hits.
with 5 damage.
Okay.
And then
one of them. That one is just shredded.
Sweet.
The animals don't know any better. They're just like one of the panthers like eating this thing. Like it's way dead. It's way gone.
And then Panther number 2, he's gonna do his 13 to hit with 5 slashing. Knocks that guy down. New guy. And then a 15 to hit with 6 piercing.
6 piercing. Okay. Another one goes down.
Sweet.
So the animals actually take out 2 of them.
Okay.
So that is awesome. And you
The
fireball.
murder-moles.
You're not gonna do any sorcery points this time, right?
Oh, I
So
did.
just-
I
you-
did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You did your fireball, and then you did 2 more Eldritch Blasts after that?
I did. Yeah, one was 6 damage.
Oh, yeah,
the
sorry,
other
I
one
got
was
that.
12 damage.
Yeah, I totally got. Yep. There was so
Yes.
collectively, Belrissa just did like 1,000,000 damage between all of those moves across all those things. Excellent work. Okay, Kins, you're up.
All right. Kin's heard, being near Belrissa and Jeshi, or down there, Kin's heard Thorkham's yell. So I'm gonna do the same, like erupting earth, like in that direction, that continuing Belrissa's line of damage.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. 30. Whoa. I don't think I've ever rolled that well. 31 bludgeoning damage.
31.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
And-
so
Nice.
good.
It's
That's
3
like
d12, so
3 d12s. That's some good rolls on d12s. Man.
And then erupting earth is 30-foot cube or 20-foot?
oh, 20.
20. Okay, yeah. So you're also going to, you take out 12 more, and
Yes.
does that become difficult terrain afterwards?
Yes, it does.
It does, right? Okay, cool. So basically, like, within a few moments of each other, a fireball just erupts in this one area that Thorkham is kind of like tactically like trying to guide everybody's, moves from his vantage. And the fireball takes out a huge amount of them. A bunch of them kind of scatter and kind of regroup all confused. And then literally like 10 seconds later, just like the ground itself just erupts and everything just starts blowing in the wind and you can't see what's going on for a second. And then finally, like, it settles just a little bit. You're squinting to kind of see. And there's all these zombies just totally destroyed. And several of them are still alive, but they're like trapped. Like they're like up to their knees in like dirt and can't really move properly. So that whole side of the line has just been completely like blown apart. And they're all scattered over there. On the opposite side, like, there's just a mass of them just sort of slowly moving towards the gate. But that other side is just totally broken line.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving the destruction. I think Belrissa's rubbing off on me.
Thorkham, you're up. So you're
So,
watching all this happen.
I saw them wrap around the town.
So on the particularly on the right hand side, a lot of them have started to kind of move around, and in fact now you're looking and you're starting to see some of them are climbing, starting to, scale the boulders and move around the choke point.
I can say sorry for your brief. Command to 14, and I can command 14 to run
I dropped Sanctuary.
into the
Just
hole. Into the hole that it's been made. And he's just going to go as far as he can. So he's got 40 feet of movement, but I would think that would be only 30 feet because difficult terrain at the end of 20.
I would imagine that he could probably make it, at least the way I'm picturing it, he can make it to like the edge of where all that nonsense is. Because they kind of shot pretty far out, right? So probably like 100 feet out from the gate. So he's probably like right there on the edge of the difficult terrain where everything just started exploding.
Okay, so he gets out there, and I'm going to give him my bonus action so he can do an action. He's going to reach into his chest, pull out the thumper, and activate it.
Okay. Can
Outside
you
the gates.
let's for the audience's benefit here, what are you talking about and what's going on here?
We got booby trapped many episodes ago by this thing. They created like sound waves into the ground and attracted all these undead. I picked it up, put it back together better, and put it in 14 because that's what I do. Anything that's dangerous, I just pick up. It's like, save this for later. So this is being used now.
Okay, so this is basically a thumper from Dune, like, and 14 just, and as soon as he sort of thrusts this thing into the ground, almost immediately it just starts. These sonic pulses start emitting from this device, and you can see, and they all start to, at least the ones that are semi nearby, they start to like act all confused, and some of them start to meander in that direction.
And you said this had a huge range, so I want to see the effects of like the swarm wrapping around the town and see if they're pulling back.
Got it. Okay, Vin. Vin, make a perception check.
I still have my action.
Oh, sorry, Vin. Go ahead and make that roll. We'll come back to you though, because Thorcom still has his action.
Yeah.
Because he's not done yet. That wasn't enough.
That was just my bonus.
That
was all
was
14.
We're just getting warmed up here.
14.
I'm gonna clear out Belrissa's immediate vicinity. Belrissa and Kins, just like try to get the ones closest to him.
Yeah, there's 5 of them still left, basically harassing.
23 and 8 on the first one.
Okay.
And 25 and 13 on the second. So 22 damage?
Yep. So one of them goes down.
21 damage.
And you get some splash damage into the other there, into one of the others, but one of them's down.
Okay,
Nice.
that's my turn.
Perfect. Vin, make a perception check.
All right, it was 19.
19. So, from your vantage, you hear maybe it's hard to tell with all the din, but maybe 20, 25 feet away from you, inside one of the tents, kind of in the direction of like where the main strip is, where the market is, you can hear what sounds to be a child, maybe? Somebody is screaming like bloody murder, like horrible blood-curdling scream happening from inside one of the tents, not too far from where you are.
Okay, you say like
Also, there's a
30 feet
war
away.
happening too.
Yeah,
in the other
yeah.
direction. So
They got this. I mean, the war is the job of the casters. Like, I don't fight hordes. I'll use my movement to get there. I
Okay.
get there in one turn's movement.
you can easily get there in a single turn. You kind of like rip open the cage, and from the back side of this tent, one of the sort of rogue like zombies has kind of made its way in, and is basically like it's kind of hung up on one of the ropes from the side of the tent, and it's a little bit stuck, but it's reaching out and it's about to just mangle. There's a couple of children in this tent, and they're kind of huddling, and it looks like they're with either it's unclear if it's their mother or somebody, but she's injured, and she's kind of like, it looks like she got hit on the head, and she's bleeding, and she's kind of dizzy, and they're all kind of scared and huddling inside this tent, and there's this zombie just like inches from them right as you burst in, and the rope starts to come loose, and you see this thing just go for these kids. What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I switched to my rapier and shield while I was running that direction, and so I'm just gonna go straight up to it and stab it
Stabby.
with the rapier. Oh, 13 to hit,
That hits.
and that's 22 damage.
22 damage. Okay, yeah. So how does you just take this thing out right away? How does it happen? Describe it for us.
As it's reaching out, then it's gonna be like a shield to like bash the arms out of the way, and then I'll just come across with like a neck chop to try to put it down.
Perfect.
Then stand over it to make sure it's not moving.
It's the classic, like, it goes whoa as you bash it backwards, and you're just like, just right. The head goes right off. Blood sprays all over the inside of this yurt.
And then just a little robot wink to the family, you know, just.
Stories will be told forever about
That's
how
right.
the robots
So
saved
you
these
shut off
kids.
your eye for
That's
a
right.
second.
I just shut off one eye and then turn it back on. Just.
Reboot, quick reboot.
Excellent. Okay, great. So that was fantastic. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead. So Belrissa and Kins, you guys have, let's see, yeah. So you're each. We'll say you each take 4 damage from being basically. There's not that many of them directly around you right now. The cat is doing something because I can't hear anything all of a sudden. The cat's down here just pulling wires out,
Oh.
and I can't hear you guys all of a sudden.
Oh no.
That's what's bound to happen. Okay,
You can't hear stuff.
hold on. Stand by.
Hello?
Nothing exciting is happening.
This is what he's a total menace.
Hey,
Ziggy
hey,
is a
guess
menace
what?
in real
Guess
life.
what? Guess what? 0 days.
I am.
Hey.
That's not my fault. That is not a tarnish on my record.
He was
Okay.
sabotaged.
Listen.
Okay. Get rid of the cat. No, okay. It's like, keep going, timeout. I will say, we have to screenshot our art after we're done with this session.
Yeah, if at any point you feel like you need to show the map, Jay, we've created it on Roll20.
With
We're
our
Yeah, no, I'm
artistic
looking.
abilities.
I can see.
we're actively creating the map, just theater of the mind style.
Check. Okay, I think we fixed it.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, normally we don't just let them like run around and like ravage the room, but with the AC broken, we got to have the doors open, so we get extra Ziggy today. It's just what's gonna happen.
Now everyone gets to experience Ziggy
That's
and
right.
learn why it is.
Why is he so mean
Sometimes
to
we
everyone?
want to banish him. Yeah.
Because this is real life, folks. All right, each of you take 4 damage.
Can I rebuke him?
Yeah, totally. There's 4 like right around you still. So just
5 fire.
5.
To
Okay,
whoever.
cool. Yeah, 5 is added to the tally here. Excellent. That's
Were
such
you
a
doing
cool move.
damage against us?
Yeah,
You,
one at a time.
Vin, you don't take any damage because
Sorry, okay.
you're kind of
Yeah.
like solo in this
Yep.
tent. Thorcum again, out of danger, just kind of like vantage, composing the battle here. Kins, you and Belrus take 4 damage, and then Jeshi, you have charged out. I'm gonna say that there's probably. I'm going to say that you take 8 damage from 2 of the 10 have managed to get a hit on you. Most of them don't. They're not, there's an overwhelming amount of them, but in individual combat, you're finding that you're able to kind of hold your own. As you're just able to shield bash and just kind of like spin Leonard around and kind of get yourself out of the way. And
Douglas.
But still,
Yeah,
what did I say? Leonard? No, Leonard was.
Leonard's the
Leonard's
camel.
the
Okay,
camel.
I didn't just make that up. Leonard was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
But
Oh, he's real.
so
He's more
okay,
real
Douglas
than you could
is
ever
the
imagine.
horse. Leonard is the camel. Jean-Claude Van.
Badger.
Badger.
I mean, if it was
Badger.
Jean-Claude
Or
Van
beaver.
Damme, it would be a beaver dam. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Jean-Claude Van Badger is
Jean-Claude Van
better.
Badger makes way more sense.
just
We're good.
So good.
And then we've got Fred and Daryl are the other ones.
No, those are the dire wolves.
Those are the dire
not
wolves. We haven't
panthers.
named the
And then-
Panthers yet, so
We- okay.
There's
it's all right.
Kitty 1 and Kitty 2.
Got it.
The murder moles.
Okay, cool.
Murder
So,
moments.
at this stage, at the end of round 2 here, if you can believe it, 2 rounds. Basically, just kind of a general kind of look at what's going on out there in the middle of the field. The Valk's machines don't seem to be having any trouble with dealing. They're not getting tired. They are just ravaging anything that comes near them. They've maybe taken a little bit of damage, but the bodies are piling up in just this macabre way way out in the field that you're kind of getting glimpses of as the winds and the sands continue to blow. Visibility is more obscured than it has been the entire time. Cattell and the group of you have managed to basically break the lines on the left-hand side as the choke of the gates here, and generally managed to defend. But on the right-hand side, things have started to completely pour in. And Thorcom, as you noticed before, the ones that were basically working their way back, quite a few of them have kept going and don't seem affected by the thumper, but the vast majority of the horde, like almost all of them, have at least seemed like they've noticed the thumper out in the field and have sort of like, you can see they're like wavering, they're like confused, like it seems to mess with their minds in some weird way, and it's doing so in a way that you don't necessarily understand or expect, right? It's not just the noise, it's not because it's loud, like they are clearly, whatever that thing is doing is like confusing these things, and they don't seem to know what to do. A lot of them have started to meander in that general direction, though there are still some kind of scaling up over the walls towards the back. So we're going to start round 3. So Jesse, you are currently kind of out about halfway between the gates and where those robots are, where those machines are. On your left, the thumper has been stuck in the ground. All the things are starting to kind of coalesce around it. What do you want to do?
Well, I'd like to make a con save to see if my sanctuary is still up. Because that just occurred to me.
You had, your sanctuary for 14?
Correct. I pass, so it's still going.
Oh, because you took damage, right? I see.
Concentration.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wanna. It's not written here on the Dark Forge info sheet whether my consume shadows to make bright light and dim light is an action or a bonus action.
That would be an action.
Okay, I don't want to do that then. I will. I will alter course in order to make a tactical strategy to hit this right-hand breach. So on this right side where the undead have gotten more of a foothold, I'm going to start to try to wedge in that way as opposed to going out towards the robots more.
Okay. So you're going to break right towards where a lot of them have started to pool back together and reform their line. And they're obviously unintelligent. They're just acting on instinct, right? And they sort of, you can tell by, and you having fought them your entire life, literally, like you've been in this situation before, right? And you know that they will always come back together. Like that's what these hordes do, is they reform naturally, and that's what's happening. And you see it instinctively, and what do you do?
So I just keep trying to break them because I know they're much more dangerous as a clump than individually. So I go at the place where they're trying to regroup within like 25 or 30 feet of me, Charge on Douglas. He tramples 1 for 9 damage.
Okay.
And then I take 2 swings. First swing, 15 to hit, which hits, and 13 damage. Second swing, I'm playing polo.
Okay.
I'm getting very good. 24 to hit, which definitely hits, and 16 damage.
16. So 2 of them go down from that exchange.
Okay.
Well, you know, abstractly, right? You're taking down all kinds of enemies, but at least in the way we're keeping track, you're able to end 2 of them. Very cool.
So I'm just trying to wedge myself in the place that's going to disrupt them the most.
Got it. Okay.
All set.
Very cool. Belrissa. There are still, if I recall, 3 of them kind of just harassing you and Kins kind of nearby. A couple of the Sidewinders have run up and are trying to like help you guys out because you're sort of clearly focused on. Both of you are targeting like way out there and not necessarily like melee combat next to you, right? So, but what do you want to do?
I don't have any more fireballs left, and I'm really sad about that. So I will just blast who's ever near me. So my first blast is 23 to hit
Yes.
with. Come on, where's the? Oh, does not dodge damage. With 8 damage,
18. Okay. Nice.
and then the next one is 14 to hit
Mm-hmm.
with 12 damage.
12 damage. I'm just picturing Belrissa just like 24, 25, 26.
Oh, yeah. And
All right.
Jesse's just
Did
like,
I kill 2?
3,
You
4.
killed. You killed 1.
1.
Yeah.
All right. The murder moles are gonna come to my rescue
Okay. Nice.
and do their thing. I will do this as fast as possible. 3 from the claw. 7 from the bite, so that's 10 from Panther 1, and
Kitty 1.
Kitty
2.
1, and 7 from Kitty 2.
We got Siegfried and Roy call out from chat.
Oh, I like it.
That's what they should do.
Yes. Yes.
And Roy.
From Null.
Siegfried and Roy.
Nice. Yeah.
Love it.
What was the damage on that last one?
7 damage.
7. Okay.
From Roy.
1 more goes down. Okay.
Yes. And then Badger is. Does 7 hit for?
No, 7 does not hit.
Okay.
Jean-Claude.
22 hits though, so Jean-Claude does 5.
He's just sitting there going, just not attacking.
Charging up.
Yeah. In the splits for some reason. Nobody knows why. Nice.
All right, and the murder moles are done.
That's great. Excellent turn. Okay, Kins.
All
You're
right,
you're probably
after-
10 feet away. Yep, go ahead.
After doing the damage that I did on the last turn, I'll turn my attention to the right side where all the little chumps are climbing up the wall, and I'm going to make my wall of fire like on the wall or like lining the wall so that it's a 60, well, I don't know how far they are, but 60 feet long, 20 feet high wall of fire.
So you're gonna So at the base of the stone, kind of like there's these giant stone boulders, which are all, it's a natural formation, but they all kind of stacked up together and they create this natural wall essentially. Some of them are like 80 feet high, and some of them are maybe 20, 25 feet high. But at the bottom of the base, you start your wall of fire and you just create like this barrier around as far as you can reach. And okay, does that do damage too to anything?
It
that's
does
inside
damage.
it?
I'm gonna roll. I got so excited when you said they were climbing the wall. I was like, yes, please. I want to do fire. All right, that is 18 fire damage.
To anything within
18.
like 10 feet of it, right?
And is that
Right.
Anything that is with it. Sorry, it's a Dex 16.
Dex 16? Okay.
And
And it's 60 feet long, you said?
It's 60 feet long, 20 feet high.
Okay, so that would be huge. So 20.
For any creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of that wall, that side, that's
Is it
flaming
only
out.
when it's their turn, or do they take damage immediately?
When the wall appears, each creature does a dex save,
Okay.
takes the damage, and
So
then if
there's-
they end their turn within 10 feet, then they also take damage.
I see. Interesting. Okay. So remember when, all of those big like ladder things are like going up against the wall, and all the Urukai are like climbing up it, and they basically like take out a whole ladder, and just like hundreds of them just fall down like from a single swoop. Kins has just like this massive line of fire appears along the base of this rock, and like 25 of these zombies that were crawling up, they just start and they just start burning and lose their grip, and they just fall down into the flame. Several of them are like just above it and manage to kind of keep climbing a little bit, still on fire, but the vast majority of them in this one area have just been completely obliterated by this wall of fire, which now stays there, right? It doesn't go away.
It stays
Yeah.
unless I lose my concentration.
So you've created this new defensive line, essentially. And Thorcum, it's actually below you. So you're kind of looking down, and there's like, oh, okay, now there's fire. That's nice. And you're kind of stuck to this, like you're kind of standing like diagonally because you're spider climbing, like just getting the best vantage point, and you're just watching everything below just burn from the wall of fire. Fantastic. It's your turn, Thorcum. What do you got?
All right. I'm gonna pick off the guys who got past.
Okay.
I mean, large crowd's not built for it. At least right now. 11 on the first one,
That
and
hits.
9 on the second, so 20 in total.
Oh, that was damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So you take out, well, let's see. Actually,
14 to hit, 16 to hit. So
two of them go down there. Yeah, so one of them is like mostly on fire and is maybe like 8 feet away, and you just kind of lean over and you just right in its face, and its head just blows back and snaps its neck, and it just sort of falls back and into the flames. And then another one's a little bit further away and has started to mantle up onto the top of one of the rocks, and he's kind of looking around, and you're just take aim, adjust for the wind, and pow, and this thing just goes flying back from the force of the shot.
curve the bullet.
It just disappears into the dust, and it's like gone. So
And
fantastic.
then I'm calling the 14 back. So he's going to move towards the gate, kind of follow Jesse again.
Just starts charging back through. A bunch of these things are swiping out at him.
Sanctuary!
Yeah, they seem real confused why they can't hit him. It's weird. All right, Vin, you're in this tent now, and what do you want to do? You want to charge back out?
Yeah, definitely want to. I'll poke my head back out, just take a look around. Do I see any? I'm still taking a look for
Cattell's
Valk.
just- She's like fighting. She's going crazy. She stabs one right in the face and just slams its body down with the tip of her spear.
There's too many. We need to break their line.
What do you want to do?
Break their line. Like we've just stopped them on the left. We've created a wall of fire on the right. Where do you see their line? Like, how can we? I mean, I'm looking out into the sand. Like, can you break that? Is it time to call your people back into the caves?
She says.
Like,
She looks back.
We've already sent everyone we can back.
She says,
Keep fighting.
and she just kind of runs off and just, yeah.
all right, and we'll
She's
hold
like,
here.
she's like in the zone.
So I'm gonna focus in on the ones. Do I see Valk? I'm just doing every turn. I'm gonna be doing a perception check for Valk.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
3.
No sign
Yeah.
of the goblin Valk.
Then I'm gonna focus on the ones that are close to Belrissa. Doesn't she still have like 1 or 2 Orkins that are like moving up on them?
Yes. Yep, for sure.
So
There's- I think
I'll
there's two
just
left around
shoot.
them.
I'll switch back to my crossbow and shoot one of those. It's a 19 to hit and 22 damage.
Okay, excellent. Yep, one of them goes down.
And I'm just gonna stay kind of back there watching for anything that might pop through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so at the end of this round, they're gonna go ahead and take their turn. So Jeshi, you have put yourself in a bit more of a sketchy situation here, as you've basically charged in and have managed to take out a couple of them, but there's probably like 40 of them around you at the moment. So I'm gonna say, hold on, let me look at the radius thing here. So that's gonna be 24 damage on you, Jeshi. You're able to, I mean, you're like, you know, Aragorn, like solo taking on, like on Weathertop, just like battling things or wherever, you know, just, or Boromir, you know, in the woods by the river, just solo fighting off from the top of your horse, just all this stuff. And quite a few of them managed to get you, but you've fended off the vast majority of the attacks. And then I think you're the only one who takes damage this round, because similar, like everybody else is kind of positioning away from kind of the majority of the enemies. So that's going to be that. So at the end of this round, what I'm imagining happening is that the wall of flame has diverted, like any that were still over there are now looking at that. I mean, these are zombies. They're not intelligent necessarily, but instinctually smart enough not to walk into a wall of fire, right? So whatever's left over there have started to, whatever that call is from that thumper, from that device, it has become more interesting than walking into a wall of fire. So they have started to all meander back in that direction. And even, so Jeshi, you're kind of in the middle of this massive group of them, you know, trying to kick them with the horse and shield bash and hit them, play polo with the hammer. But a lot of the enemies that you were attacking have all started to meander towards this thing. And you can see that they are just dogpiling on top of this thing. Like, you can literally see there's like a pile of probably 100 of them just piling on each other, just sort of like trying to be as close to this device as possible. You also notice that the machines have noticed that, and several of them are on their way towards this like massive pile on top of the thumper and are moving in that direction.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Did I hear Cattell yell?
No, you're way out in the field. Well, make a perception check. I guess there's a vague chance you might have heard her.
I'm seasoned.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You're in the zone. You're out there. Just the thrill of battle has taken over you as you've charged solo into this pile of them.
Okay, but I'm not suicidal, so I rally myself, turn. Where am I relative to like the wall of fire?
You're like kind of. So if you imagine,
'cause it was also right-sided, right?
Yeah, the imagine the choke point. Call it the middle of the map, right? You're off to the right, and the wall of fire, as the wall kind of bends around to the right, on the right-hand side of where the gate is, you're kind of on that side, but out in the field, probably like 60 feet out.
Yeah, okay. I turn heel with Douglas and run back towards kind of where the wall of fire starts on the left, so the edge of the wall.
Yep. Okay.
As it's gonna go out, so like towards the edge of the wall of fire. What do I see as I'm sort of backtracking there?
What do you see in terms of what?
Yeah, like who's in trouble? Do I see anyone in trouble?
Oh, I see.
Douglas can travel very far, so I'm gonna survey.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, great. So as you don't have sanctuary on yourself, right?
Negative.
So I'm going to say that you probably take 8 more damage just from trying to get out of the mess that you're in, just to start cycling around. And then as you head back, there is a group of Catel's men who are basically trying to lift the right-hand side of the wall and like reform some of the defenses on side. And there's probably 10 zombies are like bearing down on the 3 of them right now, kind of back. And it's kind of like just to the left of where the wall of fire starts.
Okay. I bull rush that. So Douglas does a trample onto one of them.
Okay, nice.
We do damage. 11 damage. And it knocks one of them prone.
Okay.
Then, so I'm charging, so he can go up to 120 feet. No, I guess if he's going to do his attack, he can go 60. So I think I would get to that corner. So I crash into him. That's my full movement on him.
Okay.
And then I heal myself for 35 points.
Okay. Excellent.
That's it.
All right. Belrissa, you're up.
All right.
And sorry, Belrissa. And I'd like
Yeah.
to say that I am looking for my friends and also Catel.
Okay. From where you just charged into, you're probably like 40 or 50 feet adjacent to Kins and Belrissa, who are still kind of over, slightly out in front of the kind of original area on kind of to the left of the front gate. So you're definitely within, obscured visual range of them as the wind continues to howl.
Alright, I'm gonna blast the rest of the guys who are close to us. Try and get rid of those guys.
Okay.
23 to hit there,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
10 damage,
10. Okay, one of them goes down. There's one left.
and 17 to hit,
Yep.
and 13 damage.
13. Okay, awesome.
And I'm gonna use my bonus action to convert some spell slots to sorcery points.
Okay.
So I will get 4 sorcery points back from that. I'll use 2 first level spells
Awesome.
to do that,
Okay.
and then the murder rolls will come and just finish the rest.
That will always be fun.
Right, and 13. So 6 plus 8 is 14 damage from Siegfried.
Okay, that takes down one of them. 14 damage?
Yeah, 6 plus 8.
Wow. Oh, that was 2 attacks, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's great.
And then
These things are just fired up. They're just like, going for it.
9 damage from Roy.
9 more damage. Okay.
And Badger does 4 damage plus 6, so 10 damage from Badger. Fun, it's Jean-Claude.
Okay. Excellent. So the 2 of them that were still there are gone. And in your general vicinity now, Belrissa, you and Kins are kind of standing there. There's a handful of the Sidewinders are around. Just they're all spearmen, so they're all kind of fending off. They have a handful of little skirmishes around, but they seem to be kind of having things under control. On the right-hand side, Jeshi is single-handedly fighting like 8 of them as he defends a handful of the guards who are trying to reassemble some of the defenses. Way out in the field, anybody who was like kind of slowly meandering in this direction has now turned and is now moving back out of the field towards this awkward like pile of undead, and they're all like scrambling across each other. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen, as probably at this point 200 of them maybe are just in a huge pile on top of this pulsing device. Several of the robots now have started to move in that direction, and all of the undead that were out there, at least the ones you can see through the craziness, like everything is just converging on that location. for whatever that device is.
Okay. How far away is that?
From you,
Ish.
probably like 100. Yeah, probably about 100 feet out from where you are right now.
Okay. Cool. I'll keep guard still just in front of the gate for now.
Cool. There are some like random little skirmishes here and there, but the vast majority of them seem to have been diverted towards this thing. Okay, Kins.
Okay, so basically, the only things near me are the 8 that are where Jessie is.
Yeah, you for all intents and purposes, sure. I mean,
Okay.
there's a couple of random ones scattered, but the only ones that are...
All right.
Yeah, Jessie is like single-handedly fighting 8 of them right next to you. So
Ooh, how close am I next to them?
you are 30 feet, probably.
Okay. I would like to cast my wall of fire. Okay, this is not going to harm Jessie. It's going to be around Jessie and Douglas. Where the
Dougie.
outside...
Dougie to you, yes.
Dougie. Okay, wait, Dougie is the nickname that I get to call?
That's right.
Anyway, but the fire is going to be on the outside, so it's going to be a ring of fire protecting Jessie, and the fire is going to be facing out.
So is this a new ring of fire?
Yeah.
Like, so now you
Didn't
have
you
two
say
of
the
them?
other ones were going away? No,
Yeah, no,
that
yeah,
one's going
no,
away.
they're- yeah,
so
totally.
my
Okay.
this new ring of fire will dismiss the old ring of fire.
Got it. So the old wall of
the
fire.
wall will
Yeah.
be a ring now.
Johnny Cash just starts playing in the background,
Yeah.
just
That's how it. That's how
undertoning
Kings
this whole
rolls.
battle. Yeah. So the wall of fire goes away. A new one just kind of appears randomly around you, Jessie, which any normal horse might be startled by, but not Dougie.
Dougie knows
Dougie's-
telepathically that was
Yeah.
kids.
Uh-huh. Dougie's got.
You
got
can
it
tell
under
which
control.
fire is my fire. It
Yeah.
smells like trash. No.
Right.
Uh,
It's a brush fire.
It smells like a
trash.
trash fire.
that might be too much. It's already stinky with the undead burning. Like, what's the little trash fire gonna do?
It smells like a dumpster fire while burning corpses. I mean, nice.
Oh my gosh. All right, so that was the deck 16, 26 fire damage.
Wow. Okay. So for 8 of them, 3/4 of them, and how much damage?
26.
Yeah, you take out 6 of them. So two of
All right,
them are
that's
left.
my
And
turn. Kids just start screaming.
42, 43, 44. Awesome. Thorcum, you're witnessing this. The fire disappears. There's just charred corpses all on the ground. Some of them are still kind of falling off, the stone that you're on. You see Kins rush up, take out a bunch of them right there. You're kind of watching. It's hard to see because, the vision comes in and out from the dusty wind, from the sandstorm. But you can see what's going on out in the field. Whatever you intended to do seems to be working, seems to be having some effect.
Okay. I'm gonna clean up around here. Then I'll take a shot at the last 2 around Jessie.
Okay.
7 damage on the first one, and 13, so 20 again in total.
20 in total. Okay, one of them's down.
All right, and then 14's gonna run up and attack that last one. So that'll drop Sanctuary. 15 damage.
Oh yeah, the other one. Okay, that's enough. Yeah,
Rushes his head.
needed 7. So both of those go down. So Jessie, your friends come to your aid and are able to quickly dispatch the rest of them there. As you get rid of those zombies that were harassing those guys, you see, and they get the gate back up, and there's this lull for a minute while all of the other undead are kind of walking the opposite direction, all confused. Cattell starts shouting orders and says, this is it, boys, and she's able to get them to kind of all work together. They're able to literally lift up the gate, and they just grab a bunch of random planks and boards, and they kind of re-secure it from the back. It's just haphazardly kind of like supported up, but it does create at least some semblance of a defensible wall again. And everybody starts to they're quickly tending to wounds and kind of reforming what's going on. Vin, you're kind of watching this. From out there, you can see that the majority of these things are now converging on this thing. You hear a voice.
That was unexpected, but actually quite convenient. Well, I think it's time for us to go ahead and end this, shall we?
And Valk, seemingly out of nowhere, just starts to walk out onto the field with intent. Some sort of intent, you're unsure. What do you want to do? It's your turn.
Oh no.
I want to see what he's going to do. I'll hold my action. And I'm going to hold a crossbow and aim it like I'm aiming out past the gate. But I'm holding my action. If he does anything that I think is hostile towards us, then I'm gonna fire. But I just want to see what he's gonna do.
Okay, so you're holding your action to if Valk does something that you feel is hostile towards the group or whatever, you're gonna shoot him. What's your?
Yep, I'll shoot him in the back. Yep.
Shoot him in the back. Classic Vinadil. Okay. Valk walks out, and he basically makes it about 20 feet past the gate. And when he gets there, he seems to raise both of his arms, and he reaches out, and he's got some sort of like what looks to be, at least from what you can tell, some sort of device. And he sort of like seems to do something on his hand. And one of the machines out in the field, you guys probably can't see this very well, but you can kind of a theater of the mind, like imagine that, like you can see through the haze. There's like something going on out there, right? Thorcom, you can probably see it the best out of everybody from your vantage. But one of the machines basically just starts climbing up onto this pile of zombies and just sort of spreads out, and you hear this and there's this explosion as it self-destructs and sends this massive shockwave through, and you just see that for a few moments it's like this glare of barely being able to see anything, and then a few seconds goes by and you kind of, your vision comes back and just almost everything's gone. You can kind of see scattered, random twitching body parts, just gore, just gross, macabre scene of just completely destroyed horde of undead just scattered. The ones that remain are just sort of confused, and you see the robots, they don't miss a beat. The ones that are left, they just start walking around just taking out the ones that are left. And within a few moments, the wind's still blowing from the sandstorm, but the fighting seems to almost immediately die down as what's left of the undead are dispatched.
Except for one guy.
One guy just keeps yelling in the background. He's just this is a barbarian. He's just raged and he can't handle it. A few moments later, Valk he kind of walks back, and we'll find out what he says after we take a quick intermission here. Get up.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Stretch our legs, grab a drink of water. We're going to take a deep breath after an intense fight. We'll be back in like 2 minutes, you guys. Stick around, find out what Valk says after obliterating what was left of the Horde. Back live. Can you just repeat what you just said?
Yeah, we were just, over the break, just making sure canonically we all remembered that I have a general idea of what it takes to cut someone's arm off. So just establishing that baseline from past history. So in case it ever comes up
From past
in
stabbing.
future story.
All All
Don't
right,
be surprised.
Jay, before he comes back, I know you're trying to do your theatrical thing, but I'm going to get down off the wall, and I'm casting invisibility of myself and getting back into town.
Okay. Got it. So, yeah, that makes sense. So you're kind of re-invising, getting back off the wall, kind of getting... Okay, perfect. Very cool. It's so hot in here, you guys.
And 14's going to retrieve the thumper to turn it off.
The thumper was destroyed.
It was destroyed. Okay.
Yes.
Movable object.
There was basically like some sort of massive magical explosion.
Okay. Then 14 is with Jessie.
You know, it's
His majestical horse and flowing red afro?
flowing
No,
red
You don't have
afro.
locks. You don't have locks.
It's
Yours not
silky.
long.
It's getting long. It's been a
No
while.
afro.
It's frizzy.
Oh man.
It's dried out for sure. I did get a nice bath last night,
That is
True.
true.
It's
That's
probably the volume is probably.
and I'm pretty sure I was the
like
only
an all-time
person who
high.
bathed.
Nobody else
last night.
bathed.
Because you were the stinkiest one, according to everybody. They kept telling you that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Are you sure? You just waded through undead.
That's
That's true.
Excuse me. So, all right. So you're invisible. Where is everybody else? So Valk has started to walk back, and you can tell he's headed for. So Cattell, who we didn't talk a lot about Cattell during that fight, but as you kind of look around, you realize that there is a pile of zombie corpses, at least as big as the one you guys made out there. Like her and her men have been defending this choke point like to their last breath. You know, like
I'm gonna ride up to her.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're riding up to her. There's a bunch of casualties. She did lose quite a few men. She's exhausted. She's covered in blood and a gore. Like,
My plan is to have her join me on top of Douglas to move quicker and survey what she needs to survey.
okay, you ride up to her, and what do you say?
Come on, let's go. we need to survey. No, this is all business.
Oh,
It's a-
okay,
this
sorry.
is a military.
She's not
like-
laughing at you. The DM
no.
is laughing at you.
Yeah. I'm like, let's go. We got to survey.
Make a persuasion check.
Hey, I'm good at persuasion. I didn't roll well. 10.
10. She
Ish.
she looks at you kind of funny.
It's faster. You're exhausted. Let's go.
And she throws an arm up.
I'm strong. Lift.
You lock arms, like, you know, and you kind of pull her up. She swings, kind of like sheathes her spear, and sits up nice and tall. Though you can kind of feel, like she's got one hand, like you can tell by her posture that she's trying to like put on a real good show, but she's freaking exhausted.
I heal her.
You heal her. Great. She sits up a little taller, even takes a deep breath. That was impressive, what you did out there. I saw it.
Those are yours there? This pile?
These belong to my men. I guide them.
Oh, okay. I didn't really get to see. I kind of went crazy there for a second and rode out there. But where do you need me to go?
She basically says, like, she wants you to take her back around to... So, there were quite a few stragglers who kind of made it over the wall, you know, either just that were out in the back area or kind of just not quite around the wall of fire. And she had sent several men back to, you know, I mean, she's got a pretty decent force. But she had tried to send people back to deal with those. Unfortunately, you do find a handful of the Sidewinders have been killed, but it doesn't look like any of the zombies made it through.
And while we're riding, if there's any down moment, I'm going to ask her relatively quietly if Valk has any of those explosives around the Oasis.
out of character, what are you talking about? You
The thing that when Valk used the robot to explode.
Oh, right.
I want to know if she saw it or if he uses them here.
She says to you, I've heard that the Tinker has extraordinary firepower like this, but I've never seen it up close. I just saw a flash of light and then they were all gone. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. Closest I've seen is Belrissa. You probably saw what she can do. She's basically a bomb. Anyway.
I would like to add 14 is honor guarding them right now because he's like neck and neck with Jeshi.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So you guys aren't going
Please
very
keep
far,
guarding us, 14.
but
Thank you.
It does give you a moment to speak with Cattell. And as you circle back, you see Valk has made it kind of back in to, and he, at this point, the 3 machines that are left make it back to kind of where he's at, and he kind of walks back in with them next to him. And he's got this triumphant pose about him. You know, he's kind of, walking tall looking, and, literally does like one of these type of things, dusting off his hands as he walks in. And he says,
Well, it's pretty lucky that we were here, wasn't it? Now you all,
referencing you as he kind of looks,
that was mighty impressive. I do believe if you hadn't been here,
and then he looks at you, Vinadil, and he says,
and in particular you, I believe it would have been much worse. Don't you agree, Cattell?
and he looks up, and she grabs your arm, Jeshi, and kind of swings her leg back off the horse, and she kind of walks up, and she approaches Valk, and she says, "You have my thanks. What was that? The Tinker keeps all these things out to the west. Why have they come?" And Valk says, what does he say? He says, I'm thinking about this for sure. While I think about that, what are you guys doing as this conversation is taking place?
I'm standing close to Vin, protecting him.
I'm helping injured people get to their spots, and
I'm casting
lining
Zone
up.
of Truth on Valk.
Sweet.
Are you actually doing that?
Yes.
You're gonna start combat again by casting
No, just
Zone
Zone
of
of
Truth?
Truth.
That's not combat.
That is going to be seen as an act of aggression. I mean, you would know that.
Well, only if he notices. Does he notice if he fails the check?
Can't you subtle spell it?
No, that's not how it works, because they know that it's on them regardless.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll just threaten him and tell him to tell the truth.
Yeah, threaten him to tell the truth. Okay, yeah. So you're kind of... he kind of looks and he just says,
How should I know? This God's forsaken desert has all sorts of hidden things. A single storm could have blown up who knows what from under the sands. What's important is because we were here, they're not inside ravaging what's left of the Bali. Ain't that true?
and he looks up at you, Jeshi, and he says,
You in particular. I saw what you did there. You rode out triumphantly. Took 'em all on by yourself. You destroyed as many of them as we did. We worked together to put an end to the undead. That is what the Tinker wants, and that is why we're here. You might not like our methods, but none of you can stand there and say that if I weren't here today, that any of you would be alive. And that's the truth of it.
Can I assess whether I believe that he is? You know, I mean, like, I really want to know if he believes that this was just a random occurrence.
Sure. Yeah, you can make an insight check.
12.
12. He's very passionate. He, you know, as you're listening to him talk, I mean, particularly Jeshi, and kind of your the characteristics of Jeshi and how you view the undead, and kind of how you've been, at least my interpretation of how you've been working through this situation is, he's right, and he seems very passionate. I mean, Valk is definitely a guy who you're never. It's obvious you're not getting the whole story, right?
Okay.
And he's not really hiding that, but he's also not wrong, you know. He is, and you would probably think that to yourself too. I mean, there were like 1,000 of them out there, and because of the action that he took, along with Thorkham's, you know, quick thinking with the thumper, that's essentially why the battle is over, right? So, I would say that Jeshi would have a hard time imagining how this would have gone well for you guys in the long run, you know, had that not happened. Though I think that you would also be frustrated at his tone, is kind of, I think, probably
Nonchalant.
Yeah, basically. He he looks around and he takes a deep breath and he says, he looks over at you, Vinadil, and he says, and he looks, where's 14 right now?
By Jeshi.
By Jeshi, right? He looks at Vinadil, and he looks at Jeshi, at 14, who's next to Jeshi, and he says,
I also think it's quite clear why these types of beings are so necessary for these fights. They're extremely powerful, as you've no doubt seen firsthand. The more of them we have, the better chance we have to protect all of those innocent people. All of them. Look. And he references back, and people have started to kind of meander back out of tents, and a lot of them fled into the caves, and you can see that they're being led back out by the Sidewinders and the rest of the crew. And he says, it is because of the machines the Tinker brought, and it is because of you, sir, and your abilities, and you. And he looks at 14 as if he's, you know, he doesn't seem to know the difference. And basically says, this is why we're here. I would like to extend an invitation to all of you. In 1 week's time, the ziggurat will be open, and you can have a meeting with the Tinker, and you can tell him to his face why you think that this desert would be better off if we weren't here. And he looks around kind of dramatically and he says, and while you're at it, ask the Bali if they'd be better off if we weren't here. Now, we'll be going. And he starts to walk.
As this is going on, this conversation, Jay, slash cut.
Smash cut. Yeah.
Slash cut. There we go. I said slash. Sorry.
Slash cut's cool too. I mean, that just sounds cool.
I want to investigate this this wagon thing
Okay.
while he's doing his evil monologue.
Yeah. He's twirling his little goblin mustache as he, and you sneak up behind and investigate his.
It's 15.
15. Okay. So this vehicle, it's essentially it kind of resembles a wagon, though it has these large paddles on the wheels that are clearly built to kind of scoop through the sand. The big wheel in the front looks to be almost a construct in and of itself that is, as you look a little closer at it, it's essentially like one of the Tinker bots that's a wheel. And it just sort of rapidly is able to move and pull this this vehicle through the sand.
So where was he? While I'm invisible, where was he dealing out his monologue?
Oh, they're just inside the front gate, kind of over.
Okay, so, all right. And so there's the wheel in front. How does the thing ride on the sand? Is there tracks, or is there other wheels underneath the carriage?
There are 2 wheels on the carriage. And there's, well, no, there'd be 4 wheels, because there's actually a back section that they use to bring all the goods with them. And each section of the wagon has 2 wheels. And then there's sort of a big, I don't know what you call it, but the big things that come off the front of the wagon that attach to the main wheel in the front. So
Okay,
5,
and
yeah.
so I'm imagining a train where it's got like couplings between the sections.
That's correct.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like a train combined with like a tricycle.
I'm looking for
Big wheel.
hydraulics and bolts.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Okay.
Well, actually, you just rolled one, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you rolled a 14.
15.
15. Okay. I would say that it's not terribly hard to find what you're looking for. I mean, you with your abilities as an artificer, someone who's built these types of things yourself, you are able to identify relatively easily what these parts are and what you're looking for.
I'm going to, on the opposite side from where everybody is, I'm going to do a little sabotage while invisible.
A little sabe.
A little sabotage.
Okay, what are you doing?
Subtly, I'm going to look at the couplings, see if there's any hydraulics there that I can just nick. And maybe loosen a few bolts and then walk on. I'm not going to mess with the robot in front because I think it would perceive me.
Okay.
But the structure, I'm going to.
Can you make a check with like your tinker's tools? That's the thing, right? I can't remember what it's called, but
Yeah.
it's like a dex check plus proficiency essentially with
yeah,
your tinker's
and
tools.
it's doubled. I don't know if it's going to roll it correctly. So that would actually be, that's dex. So it'd be plus 4 on top of that, so 21.
21. Okay, cool. So I would say that you feel pretty confident that you have sabotaged this vehicle.
I'm just doing it so as soon as it goes under stress, maybe, out in the middle of the desert,
Yeah.
it doesn't work so good.
Cool.
All right. And then I'm going to walk through the cloud, kind of walk towards the back, invisible, away
Okay.
from the talking.
Excellent. So the Tinker moves back. Sorry, not the Tinker. Valk, I should say, moves back towards the vehicle, and his robots, his machines rather, they kind of come back and they have sort of like collapsed onto the side of the thing. If you remember, Kins, you actually saw this vehicle traveling across the sands, like way out in the distance when you were scouting that. I guess it was last night. And the way that the machines are basically able to sort of like attach themselves to the side of this thing, and they kind of like rebalance the weight when they're attached, and this thing starts to wind up and starts to move, and as he starts to move away, what's everybody else doing?
I'm just watching and yeah, not doing much. Keeping an eye on Cattell and planning to like get back inside. I assume the wind's still kind of blowing.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of nasty.
It's definitely died down a little bit, but it has it's still going. Yeah.
See, I'm kind of watching Cattell for movements and waiting until she moves.
I'm gonna ask him what about your dragon problem. You came here trying to solve something, and now you're just leaving?
Yeah. So as you say that, the thing slows for a second, and you see this green goblin arm kind of reach out the window, and he kind of pulls his torso out, and he says,
Belrissa, I'm glad you brought that up. Cattell, I expect you to handle our little dragon problem. Or perhaps we won't be here next time to save you. Is that clear?
the window slams shut, and the thing peels out and takes off.
I don't think that was a very good solution to the dragon problem.
I love that Belrissa's hair is like blowing in the wind, like while the sound of the wind is happening. I just had like this weird like disconnect for a second. It was awesome. Yeah, unless anybody is taking any other actions, he's gone. He's taken off.
No, I'm tired of him.
Yeah.
Cattell is this fierce-looking tiefling warrior with a broken horn who is just covered in like zombie guts, and has been healed by Jeshi, but is still exhausted mentally and physically, and just you can see the scorn on her face as he peels out, and she's just like, "Give me a break," just doesn't even know really what to say or how to respond. She starts to walk back, and she gives a couple of quick commands to her guards, and everybody's basically just trying to pick up the pieces of this, and the wind finally starts to die down a little bit as the storm has passed. And everybody's just putting the place back together.
As
Go ahead.
the cart has driven off into the desert, I'm going to appear in front of Cattell. Kind of cock my head up at her, and I'm like, did he look surprised to you when they came?
No. I have my suspicions as well. She looks down at you, Thorcum, and she says, I think it is time for you and your friends to meet my friend, Lazanax.
End session.
I know. I'm like waiting for it.
Jesse pees himself a little bit.
Oh, Douglas!
Just a little bit.
Poor little Dougie.
It's in my clothing. It's not on.
Okay, so
Oh my gosh, you have to bathe again.
first
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
Saturday
bathe. I'm gonna bathe.
question.
Oh my god.
Is it a tiefling? No, a tiefling is not a dragonborn. Never mind. All right.
Isn't it fiend? though?
Never mind.
Jeshi?
The first Saturday question is: did Jay have a Freudian slip? He called
Yeah,
Valk a
that's
tinker.
right.
I knew you were going to ask me
The
that.
tinker.
Because Finkel is Einhorn.
Okay, well, we're not gonna ask Jay. We're
He
just
is
gonna
now, 'cause everybody
wildly
thinks he is.
speculate about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that was...
Okay. Well,
It was beautiful.
and somehow we have to
Look at Ziggy.
Sleep.
be able to capture the map, just so that people who weren't able to picture it all in their
Oh
minds.
no, I put it on the Discord.
Oh, it's already
Okay,
on there?
good.
Okay,
Just
good.
so
Yep.
that people have a clear understanding of what happened tonight. I mean,
Oh,
it
I
was
need
a little,
to
it was a
re-screenshot
little
this
much,
though.
yeah.
Y'all edit more.
Y'all added more.
Oh man!
Oh,
hey,
it's so
good
good.
job, man. Thank you
That was
guys
great.
for pushing
wow.
through.
That
Yeah.
comment was pretty crazy.
Oh, it's
was
so
very
hot in here. That was
enjoyable.
fun. You guys did
It
great.
was so
That
fun.
was good.
You guys did really, really well. And the creative, like cinematic stuff, the firewall and the fireballs, and Thorcum pulling out the thumper. Like, I legitimately did not consider that you would do that, and I was like, yes,
It
that's
was
part of DMing. Like,
the
I was
perfect
totally
time for the
surprised.
thumper.
It was awesome. It was great. And Vinadil saving children instead of killing them. It was like I think
And
you've
nobody
turned a
saw
corner.
it. Nobody saw it.
Yeah,
That's right. No, that's right.
Vinadil.
Yeah.
I got your title now, or your catch line. Vinadil, kicking puppies and kissing babies.
There you
There
go.
he is.
Savior of
Excellent.
children.
Catel's friend, Lazanax. That will
All
be
right. All right.
Interesting.
Man, cool.
Let's find a raid.
Oh yeah, who are we gonna raid?
Yeah, give me a second. Tell them about our sponsor, Vin.
Yeah.
Round Rock
Wait,
Donuts.
That's right.
Oh man, donut sounds really good right now.
Oh my. Koala.
Aw.
What is it? Koala Coolers, I think, is one of the groups out in Round Rock. Does AC repair, so that might be our sponsor.
Oh yeah, they're like right next to us. It's Kangaroo Roof and Koala Cooler.
That's right,
or
Kangaroo
something.
and Koala Coolers. Yeah, nice.
All right. I found somebody. Cool. So let's see. Saturday night is after show.
9 Central. Yep. Lots of new questions.
Yes.
And I thought I was ready. I'm not ready. Where? Oh, come on. Where
So
did
is
I take-
Ziggy
oh, there it
sleeping,
is.
or is Ziggy just like? No, definitely not
This one?
sleeping.
I
Okay,
mean,
yeah,
he
no.
was pretty much sleeping. He was.
And now he's like, I'm upset.
Oh. Hey, excuse me.
Ooh.
Oh, we don't bite. We don't bite.
Okay, there goes the raid. All right, I don't know who this is, but they got it. They got a pretty cool looking game going on. So we'll go over,
Great.
ask them how the plan's going. Yeah, till next week. Good luck with your bad plans. We'll find out what our bad plans are going to lead to as we lead into episode 23. I think this is 22, right? 23 next week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our cat is absolutely insane, completely
We're gonna do that.
effing bonkers.
Hey, yeah.
Like
Oh my
literally
gosh.
everything Ziggy does in the game is based on real life. Just a total disaster.
Although he doesn't fly and pee on people.
But he
Yeah.
would.
Not
He
yet,
would
at
totally,
least.
if he could,
If he-
100%
might,
guaranteed
yeah.
he would do that. He's the cat that just he's like, oh, that's on your shelf. Pah. No, it isn't. Not anymore. All right. Is that enough time? Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Five.
That was a lot of time.
All right. See you guys.
Later.